So we know the Kiss Army is going to be storming Las Vegas this November. But what's Kiss going to be playing? That's what we don't know. So that's what we're going to be kind of, not even speculating, just imagining and dreaming up our own ideal Vegas set list here on today's episode. So thank you guys so much for joining us here on episode 143 of the Kiss Army Things podcast. My name is Xander.
My name is Daphne.
And also, please stay tuned to the very end because we're going to be announcing the winner of our 4th anniversary giveaway. So if you entered, be sure to stay tuned to the very end. We're going to do the drawing out of our Firehouse hat Kiss Army Things style, and we don't want you to miss it. So as always, thank you for being here on another fun episode. Like we said, we're just going to take a fun time to just look at the Vegas set list and say, what could we expect or what would we like to see from Kiss? Jeb and I did an episode similar to this back in the early days of the podcast. We said, what would be our dream end of the road tour set list?
Yes, before the tour even started, right?
No.
Or maybe towards the beginning.
Yeah. I mean, we started the podcast. The podcast has started whenever the tour had already started. Okay. But we thought, well, hey, let's just take a look. And, since everyone's always talking about, what songs Kiss should be playing or whatever, we thought, well, let's just, have our own fun doing our own dream set list. And so I thought, well, let's bring that idea back today since we know Kiss is going to be reuniting in Las Vegas and be performing for us fans in an unmasked electric fashion. So there's some wiggle room there. We're going to have some fun with it. We'll get to that in a minute because I do want to do a fun little announcement. We had our big announcement in the last episode, but this one's just a small for fun announcement for just the Kiss Army Things viewers here on our podcast. We wanted to announce that we finally, after 4 years, actually have Kiss Army Things merch available for you guys now. So yeah, if you want to head over to our TeePublic store, it'll be the first link in the description. But yeah, check out our TeePublic store where we have t-shirts and hoodies and buttons and stickers and all kinds of things that you can browse. I know after 4 years, it's long overdue. Definitely. I know everybody's been saying, hey, where can I get a t-shirt? Where can I get... I'm like... you know what? We haven't actually done that yet. So, yes, if you want to head over there to our store, some great prices. We even bought a couple for ourselves.
I know. We were hoping they'd be here by today so we could show them, but I think they're still coming early next week, maybe.
Yeah, so maybe we'll show them in the next episode. Yeah. But yeah, we thought, well, hey, let's get some t-shirts for ourselves to rep on the podcast.
Absolutely.
So if you want to also rep some Kiss Army Things swag, head over to our TeePublic store. Again, in the first link in the description. And get your stuff there. But anyway, let's get into the Kiss Spotlight real quick. Mostly our Spotlight's going to be our Vegas set list.
Right.
I just wanted to do a really quick Spotlight because, as everybody knows, the Kiss Museum is going to be relaunching this summer, hopefully at the end of this month. And so I've been focusing a lot of my attention on the garage, transforming that into the new Kiss Museum. And I brought this little boombox out there to listen to Kiss, obviously, while I'm setting up. And I will continue to listen to Kiss while I'm, packaging up Awesome Kiss stuff and sending it to Awesome Kiss fans. And so I thought, well, you know what should be the first Kiss album I listen to and jam in the Kiss Museum? I thought, well, I could be cliche and just do the first album.
Right.
But for some reason, Hotter Than Hell was speaking to me.
Okay, I love that.
So I popped in my CD version of Hotter Than Hell and just listened to that while I was, hanging up some posters and, doing some things like that. So... cleaning up and sweeping. Yeah. Hotter Than Hell is what got me through it, and as we all know, it's the middle of summer, and here in Indiana, it literally is hotter than hell. So yeah, I feel like it's an appropriate album to jam and listen to.
Yep.
But yes, I think, it's one of my favorite albums of the 70s. It's got a lot of my favorite songs on it. Watching You, Parasite, Hotter Than Hell, Let Me Go Rock and Roll, All the Way, and Mainline, I think are my two favorites, because you can only find them on this album.
Yeah.
So... those two are always my standouts. But yeah, so that's my quick spotlight today. Just wanted to quickly spotlight Hotter Than Hell. That's what I've been jamming in the Kiss Museum as I'm getting things prepared. But yeah, as you guys can imagine, we've been listening to a lot of Kiss trying to come up with our perfect Las Vegas set list. And we did, just for time's sake and for the parameters of the show, we came up with some parameters.
Some guidelines,
Some guidelines, yeah. So we each chose 20 songs. You guys can choose however many you want. Include however many songs you want in your, dream Vegas set list. But we chose 20 just for the sake of time and because it's even.
Yep.
Obviously, I don't want to have I have more songs than you or you have more songs than it's uneven. So, yeah, 20 songs, Kiss songs, and that's pretty much it, right? I mean, that really wasn't anything. I mean, so I'll be honest. I know that Peter and Ace aren't going to be at the event, so I didn't include a Peter and Ace song.
I don't think I did either.
But if you guys want to treat it like it was Kiss Unplugged and have a part of the show where it's just Peter and Ace, or Peter and Ace plus everybody, go for it.
This is a dream set list, so even if we don't expect them to be there, you could still pretend that they are for your dream set list.
A dream Vegas set list, and so, dream it up. Dream whatever you want. So we're going to go through our 20 songs here right now and share those with you guys. So who should go first?
Do you want to do one at a time, or do you want to go back and forth?
Well, we're going to go back and forth.
Okay.
But as far as who should start... I thought that we could flip a coin.
Oh, okay. I like that.
And we're going to flip the Mardi Gras coin that Z-Unit gave us in the last episode. The 83 Creatures Mardi Gras coin.
That's so cool.
So if you want to, call it out in the air, and we'll see who goes first.
Okay. Heads. Oh! Let's see. I believe... That's tails, right? I don't know.
Tails? Yes. Heads has their faces.
Has their faces. Tails.
So it was tails.
Yep, so that's you.
So I go first. All right, sounds good to me. Well, I tell you what. I'm starting off mine hot.
Okay.
Strutter.
Okay.
The first song that Kiss plays at their first show back, the first song on the first Kiss album.
I love that.
Strutter. It could have been cliche with Detroit Rock City. It could have been, Deuce, which, again, another classic Kiss song. Also one of the first 3 Kiss songs ever written, just like Strutter.
Right.
But I thought, you know what, how cool would it be if everybody's in Vegas, sitting there waiting, anticipating, and Kiss, Paul and Gene, they come out, they wave, they grab their guitars, high five, throw some picks, and then all of a sudden, just right into Strutter, that iconic drum beat, no questions asked, the crowd erupts. I think that would just be a really cool way for Kiss to say, hey, we're not back on tour, but we're back for you tonight, this weekend in Las Vegas, celebrating you.
Yeah. And
so just coming right out of the gate with Strutter.
I think
would sound great.
I love that.
So, yeah.
That's a good first one. I just want to say, I feel like you probably thought through yours more than I did. Not that I didn't put thought into mine.
Xander always overthinks.
I know, yes. So I do have mine in an order, but I didn't really think through. I pretty much just made this based on vibes and what I wanted to hear, not what's necessarily realistic or what would be the perfect order.
Oh yeah, no, this is your dream set list. It can be whatever you want.
So mine's pretty random, but this doesn't necessarily have to be first. Like I said, my order isn't super important.
Okay.
But I also have a song from the first album on as my first song, and that is "Let Me Know." I think it'd be so fun. I think it'd be so fun to hear that live. Just because I've always loved the harmonies and the group vocals on that song. And it's just, I don't know, I just feel like I know it's going to be electric probably, but it's still kind of unplugged kind of vibes, you know what I mean? Like, Kiss Cruise kind of vibes is what I'm imagining for this. And I just thought it'd be a fun way to start it out.
That was the first song that Gene and Paul had wrote together. The first song that Paul played for Gene.
Maybe it makes more sense than I thought then.
I think that was the first song that Paul played for Gene.
Aw, okay.
Yeah, when they first met. So it's kind of cool that you chose that. Because that would be a really special moment. So it's cool how we both chose songs from the first album. That's really cool. Song. So this next one I just mentioned a minute ago from my Kiss Spotlight. But I was like, okay, so how do we want to continue on and keep going? I was like, I wanted to choose Got to Choose, which is funny. Yeah, I wanted to do that one because that one I feel like, kind of like, it was either that one or Going Blind. Because again, Going Blind, you mentioned Kiss Unplugged, it's a unplugged vibes.
I almost had Going Blind on this. I ended up cutting it, but yeah.
Yeah, Got to Choose is a forgotten classic.
Yeah.
And that's where I kind of wanted to have my list fall in line with the forgotten classics.
Yeah.
And so... But I thought, Got to Choose, that'd be good. But what about Let Me Go Rock and Roll?
Yeah.
Which is just slamming fast. Now, this one we did get on the end of the road tour, so I can see where, some fans might not want that one. But this song is just, it's so good that it works no matter what.
Yeah.
So maybe not acoustic, but this isn't acoustic, so that's okay. But I just feel like if they're going to come off of Strutter, they could just continue the energy with that song because, you've got Tommy on lead guitar. It's one big, long guitar solo. I went ahead and just assumed Eric Singer's on drums. We don't know who the drummer's going to be. Hasn't been announced yet, but just in my mind, my dream set list, it's Gene, Paul, Eric, and Tommy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Gene, Paul, Eric, and Tommy. Let Me Go Rock and Roll has always sounded great when they play it, and so I thought that, second song of the Vegas set list, just fast, energetic, keep it going.
Yeah.
So that's what I chose.
It's so funny because my second song is also from Hotter Than Hell.
Interesting.
And it's Coming Home.
Coming Home.
I love Coming Home.
Yeah.
And I think, Unplugged is definitely the reason I love Coming Home.
Same.
So I kind of imagine those sort of vibes. Yeah, I don't have much else to say, but I love that song. And I think it's so funny that so far we have the same 2 albums in the same order.
That's pretty cool. But Coming Home definitely, was made famous, if you will, by Kiss Unplugged.
Yeah, that version is so good.
It'd be cool to hear it in a electric format.
Yes, I would love.
Vegas.
Yeah, I would love to see that. Like unmasked but electric would be so fun.
Yeah. Good one. I like good pull. Good deep cut, if you will. Yeah. My third one is not a deep cut, but I still feel like it falls into that forgotten classic category. Okay. Because it was played live a lot. It's on Kiss Alive, if that gives you a hint of something. But it was never played on the End of the Road tour. It wasn't played on the Kiss World Tour, Freedom to Rock tour. I don't think I ever heard this song live, and that's Come On and Love Me.
Oh, wow.
And that's a shame, because...
You've never heard that song live? That sucks.
No, it wasn't we didn't hear it in Dayton.
No, yeah, I definitely haven't.
No, so, again, it's one that you might hear on a Kiss cruise.
That's a great choice.
Yeah, but I think it's a great song. I love it, and I wish that they would have played it more.
Yeah. And
so I think this is one that obviously is iconic enough for fans to know and sing along, but... You don't hear it enough, so it still has that endearing, like, great, we're finally hearing...
Yeah, it's still, like, exciting because it's been so long.
Yeah. So my list is bringing back those forgotten classics.
I like that theme of forgotten classics. That's good. My number 3 is A World Without Heroes.
Going with the Elder early.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, it had to be on here somewhere.
I knew it was going to be. But...
Yeah, it might be one more time. We'll see. But yes, I just love this song, and I think Gene's vocals are still so good, and I think he would just absolutely kill it. And I feel like after 2 more upbeat songs to start out with, I think this is time for a softer moment.
Softer moment. Well, hey, you can't go wrong with the Elder. Fans love the Elder. And the Elder live, especially.
Some fans love the Elder.
Well, yeah, but all fans, all the diehards love to hear it live.
Yeah.
When you hear that.
Just because it's so novelty and it never happens.
Yes. Yeah. And, A World Without Heroes, again, that's the one that they're going to probably more than likely play. So.
Yes, yeah, it is the most likely
Good pull. Mine is also a Gene song. A Gene song. Again, I'm still in the 70s.
Okay.
And this was one that I never heard live either, and it was a shame because it's one of those amazing songs. She.
Oh, yeah.
How many times do we talk about She making it into either a dream set list or our favorite playlist or whatever? Yeah. It's like all the time.
It's iconic.
All the time.
So good.
Yes. That one, I think, again, because not only just you have a great riff and all that, but at the end they do the Kiss coda. I never got to hear that live. Yeah. And so I think in Vegas hearing again, fans would just love that because it's classic Kiss. And it's been so long since we've heard that stuff live that, they could do almost anything. Yeah. And it would be great, but in Vegas, it needs to be special, and so hearing She, I think, would just be a special moment, especially with that Kiss coda. It rocks. That's
Perfect.
What I'm going with.
Great choice. My number 4, I'm going back to the 70s, and I have chosen Lover All I Can from Dress to Kill. I love that song. It's a great Paul song. I feel like that's another, kind of forgotten classic, if you will.
Yeah, well, that's one that you get, they played it on the... what was it? The Kiss Rocks Vegas acoustic set. Yeah. They played it in some of those settings, the Kiss Cruise.
Right. It's one of those, that you might hear at an event like that. So I feel like it's, potentially likely that they would do it here, and it's one I would love to hear live again.
We didn't hear that one at Dayton either.
I don't think so.
That was one that I was really hoping, but good choice. I wish I had that one on my list, and it could have been, but I'm glad that you have it. Yep. So far, do we have any repeats? No.
Not yet.
We don't have any repeats. I'm interested to see once we get to if we ever have any repeats. But so far, so good. So we're on number 4, right?
I just did my number 4, so you should be on 5.
Oh, 5. Yep. Yes, that's right.
Oh, do you need to add one? Did you skip a number?
Did I add? I think I have too many.
Ooh. You might have to do some live editing here.
Oh, no.
Do you have 2 4s or something?
Yes, I do. You can't look. Why are you looking?
Sorry. I didn't see.
Interesting. Okay, I'll tell you what. I'm going to give you my number 4 and then go to my number 5. So I'm going to give you both my number 4s and my number 5.
Okay, so you are doing 21.
Yes, 21 on accident.
Okay.
Ha ha ha.
That's fine.
So my second number 4 is King of the Nighttime World.
Ooh, wow.
Because this one, again, is one that just doesn't ever get played. And in 2014, they even tried opening shows with this on the 4th anniversary tour. For the first handful of shows, they opened with King of the Nighttime World, They even had Making Love somewhere in the set list, which wasn't played again until almost 10 years later on the Final 50.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, and they even brought this out on, I think, Jimmy Fallon. They played this live on Fallon.
Really?
King of Nighttime World,
wow.
in 2014 when they were doing...
Let's go back and watch that. I don't know if I remember that.
That was awesome.
That's
That
cool.
was awesome. So, yeah, it's a song that doesn't get played live, but I knew it would go over so well if it did.
Absolutely.
And I think fans would love to hear it. I know I would love to hear it. It's my dream set list, so why not?
Yep.
That's my second number 4.
Okay, now you're 5.
Now my 5 is a Gene song. That was a Paul song, King of Nighttime World. This one's a Gene song. And I thought, what other obscure 70s song, Gene song, could we pull? And I thought, Ladies Room.
Ooh, okay.
Because Ladies Room was played live for a while on the Rock and Roll Over tour, the, a Live 2 tour, whatever, right around there, 76, 77. And it, again, just by way of natural selection, it ended up not making it past the set list into the 80s, and then it never really came back. So I think now will be the time to come back. And if I hadn't done a Paul song, I would have done Mr. Speed for the same reasons. It's just like Rock and Roll Over has so many great songs that you could do almost any of them and it would work.
It's one of the best track lists.
It's one of the best albums that Kiss has.
No skips.
Yeah, and they played Love 'Em Leave 'Em on one of the last Kiss cruises, so I thought that was a cool pull. So let's do one more from Rock and Roll Over, and I'm going to do Ladies Room.
I like that one.
So that's my number 5.
Good choice. My number 5, I'm still in the 70s as well, is Parasite.
Nice.
I mean Parasite.
Parasite's one of the best songs.
And it's, I feel like, one of the ones that will get the biggest reaction, and that the most people want to hear. I want to hear it. It's just a classic.
Yeah, Gene and Ace are both playing that one live, and it's one of my favorite.
Yeah.
Parts of the
I forgot
list,
that you said that Gene did play that.
Did he? I think so.
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So again, yeah, you're right. Parasite, fantastic song. We heard it once, and it was amazing. So I'm with you. Well, one of the best live Kiss songs. Let's go to number 6 now for me. I wanted to do a obscure Paul song that hardly has ever been played live.
Okay.
And I wanted to do an anthem because we've done some, not always have been anthems so far, but I thought let's pull an anthem out for this one.
Okay.
And a rare obscure anthem, and I thought Tomorrow and Tonight.
Okay.
From Love Gun.
Tomorrow
and Tonight.
Okay.
Tomorrow
That's a
and
fun
Tonight.
choice. That's so easy to sing along to as well. Yeah.
And that could have easily been a Kiss Cruise cut, and unless I'm mistaken, I don't think they brought that one back for the Kiss Cruise.
Yeah.
And that should have been, that's like a no-brainer.
Yeah. For
me, at least, for the Kiss Cruise. So, and Paul keeps saying this is a Kiss Cruise on land, so it's like, let's bring all those songs that could be done in that setting and put them here. And I would love to hear Tomorrow and Tonight.
I like that, because like I said, it's easy to sing along to, and it's a good, audience interaction, kind of, like that part where he goes, tomorrow, like, you could do kind of a back and forth echo. That would be fun.
Yeah.
That's a good choice.
It was on Kiss Alive 2, but I don't think it was played in front of an audience. I think it was played during sound check, and they just piped in the audience underneath it.
Yeah.
So it's been played live. It's on Alive 2, but come on, man. How cool would it be for Kiss in 2025?
For sure.
To play that in Vegas. I'm sure the Vegas crowd would love it.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
That's a good choice. My number, is this 6 that we're on? I've made a Spotify playlist, so I don't have numbers.
Yes, number 6.
Okay. My next one, again, still in the 70s, Hard Luck Woman. Now you could take this one of two ways. You could pretend that Peter's going to be there and have him sing it, which would be incredible.
Ooh.
But even if not, I absolutely love when Paul sings this song. Even though, don't get me wrong, the original is incredible. And Peter's voice on the album suits this song so perfectly.
It was made for Peter's voice.
It was. But I do love the occasions that we've had where we get to hear Paul sing it.
Yeah.
And it's just such a well-written song. It's so good. And I would love to hear either one of them or anyone sing this song.
I like how yours is pretty paced. So you had like a few in the beginning, and then World Without Heroes, and then a few more rockers. And
yeah.
So you have like waves.
I'm trying to keep it pretty balanced between the heavier ones and some slower ones.
For sure. Yeah, I really didn't think about that. I was just like, let's just pack in as much,
that's fair too.
Obscure classic Kiss hits which is funny because that's like kind of an oxymoron, obscure hits.
Right.
But you know,
it does make sense though, because it's like they were hits at one point in time.
They were played live. It's
right.
Just that
they just haven't been heard in a while. So
yeah,
that's valid.
This one was definitely not a hit. It was definitely not a single, and we heard this live in 2018 at the Indie Kiss Expo with Bob and Bruce. This was a song that they played live, because again, Bob Kulick played on side 4 of Alive 2, and except for Rocket Ride. So I was like, ooh, let's pull out an obscure song from Kiss Alive 2 side 4. And I thought, Larger Than Life.
Yeah, wow. That's one I never would have thought of. That's a good pull.
I failed to realize this until I was putting this together and then went to double check just to make sure. But this was also a Kiss Cruise pull. So this one you could say, they already did it on the Kiss Cruise. We already know how it's going to sound, but who cares? It's one that you're never going to hear ever again, and you haven't heard in a long time. So side 4 of Alive 2 doesn't get that much representation at all anyway.
That's so true.
Ace did play Rocket Ride at the show earlier this year.
Yeah.
That was
That's
awesome.
Fun.
I'd love to hear Kiss pull out one as well. And since the last one was a Paul song, now we're ready for a Gene song. So I'm choosing Larger Than Life.
I love that.
Although if it was a Paul song, it could have easily been All American Man.
Yeah, that would be good too. All right, my next one is kind of random. I feel like I've been a little bit more what you would expect until now, but I just love this. I love this song so much, and
she's going rogue.
And we've just, I feel like, developed a new appreciation of this song over the last year or two.
Okay.
It's Naked City.
I knew it. As soon as you said newfound appreciation, I was like, oh, that's Naked City.
I just love that song, and I don't even know if Gene could remember all these lyrics. There's a lot of lyrics in this song, and like, who knows the last time he sang it. And this is a question for you, because you obviously saw him live recently. Do you feel, because this is no judgment whatsoever, but obviously they're getting older, your voice changes, Paul's voice has gone through a lot of changes throughout the years. Do you think Gene can still hit these notes in 2025?
Gene sang She's So European and We Are One on the Kiss Cruise a few years ago.
Yeah, She's So European's same album and same kind of range. So
if Gene rehearses, he can do it.
I thought so too.
Yeah.
And I just think that would be so freaking fun to hear.
And even if
Have they ever done Naked City live? Probably
not that I've ever heard.
I didn't think so.
No.
This is one that's like completely dream, probably not likely at all, but would be awesome.
That's the one that I think if that happened, that would probably get the biggest reaction.
Yeah, because it's so
that's
unexpected.
One that's truly never been played live.
Yeah.
Even Tomorrow and Tonight,
so
which was played on Alive 2, like that one never has been touched. So I like that one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That'd be fun.
I could see that one for sure going over super well. This one's been played live before, not in a long time, and you'll never probably hear it in any other setting. I think it would be really cool to hear Paul do Tonight You Belong to Me.
Oh, wow.
With Kiss.
Dude, I didn't even think about solo albums. That's such a good idea.
Because they did do Wouldn't You Like to Know Me.
Love that song.
On the Kiss Cruise in like 2016, 2017.
See, now I wish I would have thought of that, because there's so many I could have added.
Yeah, they did Wouldn't You Like to Know Me, and I was like, oh, whoa, that's on the table? Like,
yeah,
they're doing solo
option.
songs? So I thought, ooh, what could we do? And I'm like, Paul played it on the Live to Win tour. He did it on his 89 solo tour. And since they've done solo stuff with Kiss before, I'm like, how cool would it be if Kiss just busted out into Tonight You Belong to Me? And
That's an amazing
You got
choice.
the opening song off Paul's solo album.
Dude, that would be so good.
Yeah,
that'd
be really cool. It's been
very good choice.
I wonder how long it's been since Paul even played that. Probably since Live to Win, which is like 20 years ago.
Yeah, just about.
So,
yeah.
Wild.
Good choice. Good choice. Well, my next one, I'm not even sure what number this is at.
We are on number. Let's see. This would be your number 9.
My 9. Okay. My 9th one, though, I think this is the very first time we've had a repeat. Like one that you've already put on yours.
Okay.
Because my next one is She.
Oh, okay.
Just to Kill. Because I also, we already kind of talked about it, but I also love this song, and it had to be on here somewhere.
Yeah, that's how you know it's a good track if we're both picking it.
Yep.
For sure. Now, who went first? Who started? Was it me or you?
You.
It was me? Okay, so that was actually your 8th.
That was 8? Okay.
Yeah. So now we're on to number 9. My number 9. And I thought, well, okay, if we're going to do the opening song to Paul's solo album, let's do the opening to Gene's.
I was hoping you'd say Radioactive.
We're already getting teased with the intro on his tour.
Yeah.
Hearing it. And I'm like,
and then he doesn't play it, right?
No. And I get it, because I get it. A lot of the folks there, you got like half diehards and you got half the people who are just here for a weekend show. You know, I get it. So he did a little bit of obscure stuff and then mostly the hits. But I'm like, in Vegas, you only have the diehard and the diehards.
Yeah, no, that's a really good
choice.
No
casuals paying $2,000 for a weekend of Kiss. You know what I mean? Like, this is for the diehards. You can play whatever, whenever. And so I thought this would be the perfect time to have Radioactive. Again, the whole audience would be singing along to this. Every word. Oh, yeah. Every word. I think it would probably blow Gene and Paul's mind how well people know this song. How well they know it, how well they love it. And like we'd be singing just as loud as they were. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're my food. You're my water. I feel like Gene could just stop and let the crowd do the rest. Yeah, you got to be the devil's daughter. And it'd be a big smile on his face. That'd be so awesome. And then they could all go together into the chorus. Gosh, that would be so good live. That'd be a great moment. Yes, that'd be a great moment.
That's a really good choice. I love that.
Again, that should have been a Kiss Cruise one, but since they're not doing any more cruises, they're doing this Vegas thing. Bring it out.
Exactly. My next one is, and we're going completely rogue and random again.
Are we?
But I just think it'd be so much fun, and it's like kind of mostly like talk singing, so I think it'd be
talk singing.
Still, even though it's a lot of words, I think it'd be pretty easy for Paul to do, and that is singing. All Hell's Breaking Loose.
Man.
How fun would that be? Again, I'm not confident. I love you, Paul, but I'm not confident that he could remember all these words. But, you know, maybe if they rehearse, maybe he could. Because, like I said, I don't even know if it's really talk singing. It's just talking. It's just...
Some Kiss fans call it the Kiss rapping.
It is like Kiss rapping almost. But I just want to hear 2025 Paul saying, what be
Street
this?
Hustler comes up.
What be this and what be that?
Why you gotta look like that?
That'd be so much fun.
You know what? That's actually more plausible than you think. Because for years, Tommy said that was one that he tried to get Paul to do.
And everybody would sing the chorus together. The whole band, the whole crowd. Yeah. All hell's breaking. Because that part is very, like, anthem-y.
It's very chanting. Yeah, absolutely.
It'd be so good.
Tommy tried for years to get Paul to do that one. And
maybe he could convince him for this.
I forget which cruise it was, but... They did do the beginning.
Yeah.
Paul did
that sounds familiar.
Paul did do the opening rap.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
And Tommy and Eric kept playing along while the crowd sang it.
Yeah, I want to say we maybe have watched that within the last few months.
Yeah.
That sounds very familiar.
And then when Paul forgot the lyrics, you know, the crowd just sang along and then Paul would do what he could think of and remember. But, like, that would be a special one because that one's actually plausible. Like, yeah. That one's, like, right on the cross of dream and reality.
Right.
That could happen. I would love that. Mine... Very similar. So I think the crowd would get a huge reaction out of that, a huge reaction out of Naked City. They would get Kiss would get a huge reaction out of the crowd if they played Sure Know Something.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Is that going to be
That's literally my next one.
Is it really? So we'll just go ahead and do it back to back.
We have the same one for that number. That's cool.
That is crazy. Yeah, number 10?
Yep, yeah, number 10. Sure Know Something.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Halfway mark.
I love it.
The halfway mark. Yeah, because this one was played, unplugged.
It's one of my favorite Kiss songs.
It was played live on Unplugged. Yeah. And it was played live during the Symphony show. And it was played in promotion for the Symphony show. Mm-hmm. And that was it. And it's like, it's criminal. How few times this song has been played. Because as soon as the band went dum dum dum
even before even just that first little drop,
it would be.
I feel like we'd all know immediately.
We would all know immediately, and it would be just it would be a perfect sing along time with Kiss, and it would be one of the most heartwarming moments of the entire set.
Such a good song
because it is a perfect song.
Yeah,
and it's
so well written.
Yeah, they play Shandy for the Australia crowds like. I wouldn't even sure it was something in America. You know what I mean? Like, agreed. Play that, because that song is brilliant.
Yeah.
And it's gotten played live so few times, it's just so sad, so... Come on, please, Kiss. Please.
I feel like that one's very plausible.
That one's plausible.
That one, I feel like, is more than plausible, it's likely. Like, depending on how long their set list is, we don't know that it will be this long, or if it'll be longer or shorter. If it is shorter, maybe not, but... If we have this many songs to work with, I think it's likely that they would do this.
100%. For sure. So your 10
was also... because mine was also
Sure Know Something. Yes, your 10 was the same. So I'll go ahead and reveal something about my set list. Now that we're at the halfway moment.
Okay, is there a secret?
I'm wondering if anybody's caught on yet to Xander's, what he's been doing with his dream set list.
So tell me.
That's fine. But if you've noticed, there's been one song from every album in order so far.
That seems so obvious, and yet that was not.
First song, Strutter.
Yeah.
Second song, Let Me Go Rock and Roll.
Yeah.
Third song, Come On and Love Me.
I caught it for the first two, and I thought it was an accident, and then I stopped thinking about it.
Yeah. So I have the first album, second album, third album, Kiss Alive, all the way to Dynasty right now.
Yeah, okay.
Which means the next album is, we just did a review of it, Kiss Unmasked.
Yep.
And the reason why I'm confessing that now is because we have one more repeat.
Yeah.
Because you chose Naked City.
You did too?
Had to.
That's amazing.
Had to.
I love that.
For the same reason, because again, we have a newfound love for it.
Yeah.
It's a great song. It's totally obscure, never been played live.
Yeah.
And if you're going to give the Vegas people bang for their buck, it's like, play songs that they can't go on YouTube and look up.
Right.
Play songs that you cannot go on YouTube and look up, or if you can, it's been a long time.
Right, and like actually make this a literal once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Once in a lifetime. I mean, they can do so much. And again, we've had some fun stuff on here, but Sure Know Something you never hear. Naked City you've never heard. Tomorrow and Tonight you'll never hear.
Yeah.
So they have some room to do some special stuff. But I want Naked City to be it's one of the best Gene songs ever.
It is.
And I don't know what it is, because it's always been the same song, but our love for it has just grown exponentially.
Yeah, it's like we just heard it for the first time within the last year or so.
Yeah,
like, it's crazy.
And really appreciated it.
I love that. I love that you also did that.
Yeah.
And it's funny because my next one is also an unmasked song.
Ooh.
And you just mentioned it a minute ago. It's Shandy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
You were, as we were talking about Sure Know Something, you brought it up, and I'm like, that's next in line for me.
There you go.
That's a fantastic song. We talked about it in our review of Unmasked recently, but I love that song so much. They played it more in Australia than anywhere else.
Yeah.
But I still feel like it's one that would get a pretty good reaction.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just love to hear it.
You know, when we did our Unmasked album review, we failed to mention what that song was about.
Oh, yeah, and we've talked about that a little bit more just recently,
and I felt,
between us.
Cause we talked about the history of the song,
Yeah.
we mentioned the music video, and they get playing live in Australia, the dedication to Shandy Blackburn, who actually passed away.
Yes,
and so we did everything about the song except for
the contents of the song.
what it's actually about. And so what did we decide?
We were listening to it in the car probably, I think, soon after that review, because we were still kind of on an Unmasked kick for another couple weeks after that.
Yeah.
So we were listening to it in the car, and I just kind of said something about how, in my opinion, and I think it's kind of up for interpretation, but I think either both of them...
I think both of them.
I think either both of them or at least one of them are cheating on their actual partners with each other.
Yes.
Because, I mean, in the lyrics, like, tonight must last us forever. What's that?
I'm gonna pull up the lyrics, because once we found one lyrical meaning, then I can't pretend no more. I keep running out of lies.
Yeah, lies.
Loving you is killing me inside. Every time I find the words to end it, something in your eyes won't let it.
Yep.
Tonight must last us forever.
Here's
forever.
Here's another mess I got myself into. That's one I was thinking of.
We say goodnight and we go home.
Yep.
But you know me very well, and I know you. You can't tell me goodnight.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've been holding on so tight, we're afraid to let it go.
It's like they know it's wrong, and that's kind of the only reason I can really think of as to why it'd be so wrong for them to be together, is if they're cheating on their partners.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here's another mess I got myself in, and when you touch me, you ain't helping.
Oh, I love those lyrics. It's so good.
Yeah, both of them are having an affair and are sneaking off.
Yeah.
And
lying about where they are and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I like how Kiss songs are a lot deeper than you might think if you just look a little bit into the lyrics.
Absolutely.
And that's one that I think gets overlooked, even by us when we do our album review. I was like, oh man, we should have went more in depth on that.
I know.
I'm glad we have that time now.
Absolutely.
So that was your 11.
Yes, I think so.
Okay, so I've already given up my scheme, right? I'm going through the albums.
Yeah.
That's gonna end eventually.
Right.
I could have done, there's 20 studio albums, so I could have just done one from every album. They end it with Hell or Hallelujah, but that's not really fun. So eventually my scheme is gonna end.
Okay.
But not right now.
Not yet.
But not right now. Not when we're getting to 81.
Right.
Not when we're getting to the Elder. I had to include some Elder. I know you did. I knew you were going to.
Uh-huh.
I didn't think you were going to do it that quickly, though. You pulled it out song
number
3. Song 3. But no, so for me, song 12 is where I'm introducing the Elder. And I could have picked anything, but this is my dream set list.
Mm-hmm.
I want to hear the Oath.
Oh, for sure.
I could have went with I, because I was going with I. Uh-huh. This is my set list. No, but I want to hear the Oath. I know it's the most cliche one.
I had it on my initial list where I just kind of was throwing songs on there, and then I cut it down, and I ended up taking it out, but I absolutely love the song.
This is one of the best songs that Kiss ever played live, especially the current lineup.
Yes.
I hate saying this, but like it didn't, like when I watched that performance from Fridays, like I love it, I think it's great, but it doesn't hold a candle to the Kiss Cruise 3, Kiss Cruise 4, Kiss Cruise 5. In 2013 and 2014, they played The Oath for the first time in forever, and my jaw still hits the floor when I watch it, just because of how incredible it is. Tommy and Eric obviously are just in the pocket,
tight,
the perfect, especially Eric's drumming just brings it up, and I know Paul's doing his absolute best. Gene and Paul together, it's just fantastic. I think that again, this is a time to make something special in Vegas, and the Elder is a special place.
Would flip out.
Yeah,
like this is one of the biggest ones I feel like people would flip out for.
Yes,
because this is the song from the Elder.
Yeah, because
this is the song.
They're always doing songs from Destroyer. They're always doing songs, from like Love Gun, all these albums, but it's like they never play anything from the Elder, and so gotta have the Elder. For me, I went with the Oath just because it's like the best song. So
yeah, that's great. What's funny is my next one is also from the Elder.
An Elder track, nice.
And I almost thought you were gonna say it, and then you didn't, and it's I.
Nice. Yeah. Okay, so you did go with I.
Yeah, well, you made the joke about I, and I'm like, that is actually my next one.
Perfect.
I don't know why. I just think it would be so fun to hear, and they kind of do the back and forth vocals on this one, and some singing together, and I just think it'd be another really fun one for the audience to sing along to.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be kind of a shock. Like, I think it's one that people wouldn't expect to hear, but would love to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't worry, that's my last Elder song for my list. I only did 2, but I just think it'd be great.
I agree with you. That was one that got played on the Kiss Cruise at one point, and it went over so well. I know Gene loves to sing that one. And, having Gene and Paul sing a song, trade back and forth vocals, you can't go wrong there.
Yeah, so. I love those kind of songs.
So, yeah, good for you. You had 2 Elder songs. You're done with the Elder. I just started. So, let's get my other
You're doing
Elder
2
song.
Elder songs in a row?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, what do you got?
I'm doing 2 Elders in a row because I thought this would be cool, just a little mini Elder set.
Love it.
So, The Oath, Paul sings that. Gene, Under the Rose.
Under the Rose.
Under the Rose, because I almost went Blackwell.
I almost thought you were going
to
say
Blackwell.
Blackwell.
And that would be cool.
Yeah.
Under the Rose.
That's so fun.
Under the Rose, vocally, it's big. Musically, it's more complex. Like, I love how it starts off really slow, and it builds.
It gets so intense.
And once it builds, it just drops, and it's really doom and like
it's
it's very impending. Yes, it's like daunting, and so.
Daunting is a good word.
I think it would be great. That. Gene just, loneliness will haunt you.
And I can hear, like Eric and Tommy doing, if Eric's there, doing some background vocals for that. Because it kind of sounds like a choir chanting that on the chorus. That'd be so awesome.
Huge vocals. Yeah. So I'd love for that to come through. And plus you get to that part where it's dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. It's very almost like progressive rock a little bit.
Yeah. It's very like theatrical, dramatic. Yeah.
And so I would love to hear that. Plus it's a good homage to Eric Carr. He co-wrote that.
Yes.
He co-wrote All Hell's Breaking Loose.
Yeah, true.
So you and I are including some Eric Carr in there. I think it'd be a great song. Again, Under the Rose, you never hear that one. You'll never hear that one live. So
yeah, audience would lose their mind at 2 Elder songs back to back.
The people in the crowd would dig that. So
good choice. Yeah. Good choice. All right, this is kind of another random one. I'm going to Crazy Nights, and I've got Good Girl Gone Bad.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? I love it. I mean, it's your dream set list.
Exactly.
If that happened, I'd be screaming.
I know.
If that happened,
like it's not likely, but I know everybody would freak out because it's so unexpected.
Unexpected.
I love that song. It's one of my favorite Gene. I think Gene's, as far as the 80s Kiss, I think Crazy Nights is one of Gene's best albums. Some of his songs on other 80s albums are questionable at best. But for some reason, Crazy Nights, they just hit. They hit so hard. Yes. And this is one of my favorite ones. I just think it'd be so fun.
They could do that one or Hell or High Water.
Yes, that was my other. I kind of went back and forth between those 2.
Either one of those would be so cool.
Agreed.
You've never heard those live. You'll never hear them again.
Yeah.
There's just no audience for it.
Yeah.
But Vegas is the audience. Vegas is the audience because you'll never hear these songs live in like an amphitheater or whatever like that. But at the Virgin Hotel this November, gosh, we could get some really great stuff. So this is where my scheme ends. I did, all the way up until The Elder.
Yeah. 2
songs for The Elder. The last song the last album of the original Makeup era was Creatures of the Night.
Right.
It's the last song on Casablanca Records. So this is where my scheme is going to end. I thought, what obscure song could they play from Creatures? Because that's also one that you get a lot from. Right. You get War Machine. You get I Love It Loud.
Yeah, I don't think I ended up with any Creatures on this.
For sure.
Yeah. Not intentionally.
Right.
It didn't work out that way.
It's just the way it happened. Yeah, for sure. So I was like, okay, what song would Xander love to hear from Creatures that's never been played live before at all? Mm-hmm. And that's Danger.
Ooh.
Danger. I think that's like one of the most underrated songs in the entire catalog.
It's honestly one that I don't think about until it's on, and when it's on, I'm like, man, this song slaps.
That rhythm, that drum beat, the way that song is driving, you don't get songs like that. Typically, Kiss songs are typically just, very typical, boom,
straight ahead rock and roll,
boom, boom, ba. This is boom, da ba, ba, do, ba, da, ba, ba, doom, da, ba, and it's just got some really cool things going on in there. Paul's vocals themselves sound dangerous.
Yeah.
And they did the Creatures of the Night Kiss Cruise, a Creatures themed Kiss Cruise, several years back, where they brought the costumes back, the tank stage, and they only played like maybe 3 songs. I mean, you of course get War Machine, I Love It Loud, and they had the title track, but they only played like one other one, which was Rock and Roll Hell, maybe.
Yeah.
I was like, man, they could have played so much more off of that album.
Definitely.
And although I can see why Danger maybe didn't get played, now's the time. Vegas, you could do anything, and it's Xander's dream set list. So I thought Danger should get played live at least once.
I love that. That's
a
good choice.
That's why I chose it here. It's
awesome.
A great song, underrated. So.
Right, my next one. What number are we on?
This one is your 14th.
My 14th? Okay. My number 14, I'm going with Hide Your Heart.
Ooh, good one, good one. That's a good one.
This is one of the first ones I knew had to be on here.
That's a very, very plausible.
Yes.
That's very,
very... Yes, I feel like this one could and, very well could happen. It's one of my favorite Kiss songs. It's like really climbed up my list of favorite Kiss songs in the last few years. And I can definitely see them doing it. They've done this. They've done this at different events and things, right?
Let's see. Hide Your Heart, they played live at the beginning of the End of the Road tour.
Right, yeah. But as far as, like, Kiss cruises and things like that,
I think so.
I think so,
yeah. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's possible.
It's just incredible. It's one of the best storytelling songs. I just love the way Paul sings this song.
Yeah, and the crowd will get a kick at the hey.
Yeah, it's another good crowd sing-along.
The crowd would eat that up. I know I would, watching at home on YouTube, so... Okay, so yeah, we're now on number 15.
Yes.
And I thought, all right, we need to change it up because so far it's just been, again, in my mind, it's just been Gene, Paul, Eric, and Tommy. Uh-huh. If it's not Eric, it's Gene, Paul, drummer, and Tommy. Either way, it's Gene, Paul, Tommy plus somebody, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, now we're at the part where we get to have some fun.
Yeah, mine are all wild from here on out, too.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that, because my last, 6 or whatever are, insane and probably will never happen.
Mine get wild for a specific reason,
Okay.
Because we know that it's not just going to be Gene and Paul and Tommy.
Correct.
There's somebody else in Kiss 3. And we did not talk about this, but I can see that we have some things going here.
Yeah.
So this is the part in my set list where Paul says, we want to bring out another member of the family. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about the one and the only Bruce Kulick. And the crowd goes nuts.
Yeah.
Bruce Kulick comes back on. You've got 3/4 or possibly the entire Revenge Carnival of Souls lineup.
Yeah.
And now that you have Bruce on stage, of course, again, the crowd's going nuts. Lots of hugs, lots of whatever. And you're thinking, what are they going to play with Bruce? And now I'm looking in your eyes, and I think we might have something similar here.
I don't think our next one is the same, but
I think we
might be on the same album.
I think yes. That's what I'm thinking because again, this is Vegas. This is a dream set. You can do anything you want.
Yeah.
Kiss has never played anything live from Carnival of Souls.
Okay, we're not even on the same album. But
we're not on the same album.
But
oh, interesting.
We will be. Later.
We will be.
Yeah.
Okay, for sure. Because I was like, man, they could play something off of Carnival of Souls for the first time. They've played something They've played stuff off their solo albums. They've played stuff off of even The Elder before.
Yeah.
But they've never touched anything from Carnival of Souls.
Yeah.
And because you have a Vegas event, you have all these diehards paying tons of money. You're creating a moment by having Bruce there.
Yeah, just cut this whole set list and just play all of Carnival of Souls. I'm happy.
For sure. You have the once in a lifetime opportunity, the one chance to play something off of Carnival of Souls.
Yeah.
And I think this needs to be done.
Uh-huh.
If everything from this set list gets thrown in the toilet by Kiss, by Pop House, by Gina Paul, the one thing they should take away and do is play something off of Carnival with Bruce. And I hope Bruce says, I'm not coming up there unless it is a Carnival song. I hope he forces Gina Paul to do it, because it's the only way it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I hope the fans chant, Carnival, Carnival, or we want, we'll just chant, we want Carnival of Souls, and force him to play something. And so I think it'd be incredible if they played Jungle. Because Jungle is the lead single from the song. I
can't believe I didn't put Jungle on this. I don't even think I, dreamed that was even remotely possible.
I've been dreaming. This is my dream. I've been dreaming.
Yeah.
It's a good song too, Dreaming.
I almost had that on here.
Did you really?
I ended up cutting it, but yeah.
Bruce co-write.
Oh, true, yeah.
Bruce co-write. So it could be in the Bruce. That could be a fun one. We could get Dreamin' by Paul and Bruce.
Yeah, that was one that, all due respect, I don't ever want to sound like I'm, sorry, I'm trying to say a bad word, but I don't ever want to sound like I'm bullying Paul Stanley at all, but I do want to be a little bit realistic with his current vocal situation, which is not the same as it used to be, and Dreamin' seemed a little tough.
Psycho Circus had some crazy stuff on it.
That's the reason that I ended up cutting that one.
I wanted to go with Jungle.
But Jungle, oh my gosh.
Jungle,
again, one of my favorite Kiss songs.
A lot of low singing, Here I go.
Yeah, this one's possible.
He could do a lot of that, and then, of course, just hearing Bruce and Eric play that also would be fantastic. Jungle was low key kind of a hit. I think we all forget that.
Yeah,
it was kind of it was a low key hit at the time, and it's on Kiss 40. So I think that of all the songs on Carnival, that's the most well known.
It is, and probably the most likely that it could be played. So. Yeah, amazing choice.
I went with Jungle.
Yeah. So my next one is an album that Bruce is on, but I went Revenge instead of going straight to Carnival.
Fair enough.
And I chose from Revenge, Spit.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Well, Gene's playing it live now, so it's
Gene's already playing it, and I want to hear Paul's parts too. I can't.
To have them both.
I'm such a sucker for the back and forth Gene and Paul vocals. It's just so good.
That's your third one. You had Let Me Know.
Yeah.
Which is back and forth Gene and Paul.
Uh-huh.
And then you had I.
Yes, you're right. And now Spit.
And now Spit.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that. I just am drawn to those songs.
They should do as many Gene and Paul back and forth, like Stand.
Yeah.
They should do. Oh, sorry. They should do a lot of back and forth.
Yes, I love those.
Gene and Paul stuff.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep. So this is my Bruce section as well, and it's funny because, and we'll get to it when I get to my next song, but I wasn't really thinking about that, about when they would bring him out and things like that. It just kind of worked out that a lot of the rest of my set list includes Bruce, but there's a couple songs that don't, that I wish I would have put somewhere else, because now it doesn't make sense. So just imagine that my two non-Bruce songs that are coming up are somewhere else.
I see, for sure. All right, well, we're on track number 16 now, so we're getting towards the end, and I thought, well, Bruce is out on stage. The crowd just heard Jungle. They're on a high.
Yeah.
What if, without any banter, without anything, Kiss went into I Walk Alone?
Wow. Yeah.
From Carnival of Souls.
Yeah.
Because this one would, even if they didn't do Jungle, this one would be the easiest to do, because all Paul and Gene got to do is just follow along. Let Bruce sing it. It's his lyrics. It's his lead. Let him play it, and Gene and Paul could just follow along and meander their way through it. But
I'm just gonna just live right now. I'm gonna slightly rearrange mine, because that was not my next one, but it was the one after, and now I want it next.
Go
as
for
well.
it.
Now I want it next as well. So yes, I also put that was my Carnival of Souls song.
For sure,
was
makes
I
sense.
Walk Alone, because I just absolutely love the song. I love Bruce Kulick so much, and I would love to hear him sing with Kiss.
With Kiss.
They've never done that.
No.
Has he ever sang that?
Bruce has sang it live on the Kiss cruises. He does it on his own shows.
Yeah, with his...
But never with Gene, never with Paul, never with Eric.
How beautiful would that be?
It would be a historical moment to have the entire Carnival lineup singing.
And that song is just so special and so personal. Every time I listen to that song, it makes me emotional.
Yeah.
Because it feels like you listen to those lyrics and it's like It's some, like, vulnerable stuff. It really is. It's such a good, well-written song. And so, yes, I love that you had that next, so I'm putting it next to it.
Yeah, I had to have it on here because I was like, man, again, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And the crowd, again, even if Jungle didn't get played, even if they only did one song off Carnival.
Yeah.
As long as they do one song off Carnival. Because if they do that, then they will have played a song off every single Kiss album.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they've played live every other album except for one. And that just bothers me so much.
Come on.
It bothers me.
And it is such a good album. I know it's not their favorite, but it is such a good album, and it has become one of my favorites.
And I swear it's going to be so annoying if we just get Love Gun, Shout It Out Loud, Black Diamond,
Surely
Detroit Rock City. For this crowd. I feel like we're probably going to... But that's why we're doing this, because for this we get to dream it out.
I think it's going to be somewhere in between. It's not going to be like our set list, but I do think that we'll get a few deep cuts here and there.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was your 16 as well?
Yes, that was my next one as well. So back to you.
So we'll go back to me. Yeah, 17. Bruce is still out here. And I thought, okay, what songs could I play? And I thought about doing Forever.
Uh-huh.
I thought about, what was the one you had? Hide Your Heart.
Yeah.
So I'm on Hot in the Shade right now. I thought, ooh, let's go back an album. And let's have them do Crazy, Crazy Nights. Oh. Because that's one that we know they can do it.
Of course.
It was played on the end of the road tour.
They did it on the end of the road tour.
It was dropped way too soon.
I know.
That song should have made it to the very end.
Yeah, are you kidding?
And we saw it a few times, so I'm glad.
I will never forget that moment when I saw it for
Live.
The first time, and you knew that it was coming, and you didn't tell me. Yes. And you were just looking over at me, waiting, because you knew it was you knew it was coming up, and I freaked out.
Yeah, it was at the very end of the show, and I was like, man, I hope she's not like looking at Setlist FM. Hopefully, nobody's going to spoil it. But yeah, that one was one that when it came on every single time, it was a special moment of the show. It's one that you never get. They did it in 2010. They did it, again on the end of the road tour for the first couple legs, but then it just fell off. And there was one show, I think I was talking to Glenn from Tales of a Kiss Geek, and he talked about how there was a show over in Europe somewhere where the crowd was chanting for Crazy, Crazy Nights to be played. Mm-hmm. Like they were saying, like, we want, Crazy Nights, Crazy Nights. And Paul said, oh, sorry, we don't know that one. That's a good one, but, and the crowd booed. Because it's obvious, like, everybody has YouTube. Everybody's seen your show. Like, you know
that one.
What you mean is that you don't have it queued up.
Right.
So, but, of course, Paul's not going to say that. Yeah. But, yeah, it was a real bummer because, like, they should have at least done the chorus or at least sang it with the crowd.
Little
at least let the crowd sing it, and then you can do some background. But, like, I was like, that's a bummer, man. So, it's a song that we know they can do live. And it's still obscure enough that it would get a really good reaction.
Yeah.
You have Bruce Kulick on stage, the guy who played the guitar on that song originally. So that would just be a cool moment. So that's why I chose Crazy, Crazy Nights.
Amazing choice. I love that song. My next one is kind of random and should not be at this part of the set list because Bruce isn't on it. But just pretend that Hide Your Heart is here, and this one's further up.
Okay.
Anyways, I wanted to have a couple of songs on here from the final lineup.
Okay.
From Monster and from Sonic Boom.
Yeah.
And my next one is from Monster, and it's Freak.
Really?
Yeah. Again, this is one super unlikely, probably, but
I hope it happens.
Love this. This is one of my favorite songs on Monster, and I feel like it's a really underrated song. I don't ever hear anybody talking about this song.
Right.
But it's one of my favorites, and it is another kind of like, it's like a rock and roll anthem. It really is.
Also kind of vulnerable too.
Yes, it is. It is. Like it's a banger, so you don't think about it at first, but when you do listen to the lyrics, it absolutely is. And I just think it'd be so fun, and I think people would be so shocked to hear it.
That's one that, wow, when you said it, it made perfect sense.
Yeah. I can see it.
To play Freak.
Yeah.
No, I mean, there is no other song on Monster that they should play.
Yeah.
That would be it right there.
Yeah.
Great choice. That one did not make it on my list, but that's a really good one.
Thank you.
I bet we could take both of ours and make, like, the best
The
Kiss,
perfect one.
The perfect Dream set list ever.
Agreed.
But, no, that one's really good. And so we're on number 18.
Yep.
Unholy.
Ooh, okay.
Unholy.
Yeah.
Revenge. I mean, this was one that should have been on the end of the road tour. It should have been in the sound check. Could have been anywhere. Could have been on any Kiss cruise. The fact that it hasn't been, to me, is just bizarre. I don't know if it has to do with Vinnie Vincent co-writes, but they're playing Lick It Up live, so I don't know.
Yeah, so it can't be that.
So, I don't know. Just, Unholy should be a song that gets played live more often. And the fact that it doesn't is just criminal.
Yeah.
And so Vegas is the time to do it. And I know we're at the end of the set list, but you have to keep momentum up. You have to keep the energy high, especially at the end. And with Bruce on stage, you got to make it worth everybody's while.
100%.
And having Bruce play that solo live, having Gene sing that live,
yeah.
Perfection.
Yeah.
Perfection.
Amazing choice.
That's why I chose Unholy.
I love it. My next one is from Psycho Circus. And the Psycho Circus song that I've chosen is Within.
Damn.
I know.
Dude.
I know.
That's a tall order.
I know.
That's hard to do live.
I know it is. And it'd probably be kind of a different type of version of it. But I think, they could make something work.
Man.
And I would love it.
That's a perfect song. That's one of my favorite Gene songs of all time.
Oh, 100%.
Lyrically, it's
Top
some of
5
Gene's
Gene
best.
songs. Yeah, agreed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know
Never would have thought about that.
Yeah,
one.
this was kind of a random pull, one of the more unlikely ones, but I just would love it.
My 19 isn't random, but I think it's perfect. And I think it should have been played live more than it was, but it's still a classic. It's still a banger. You got Bruce out on stage. Why not play another one from Revenge? The other single, God Gave Rock and Roll to You.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is one where you have Gene and Paul going back and forth singing lead vocal. So this is the only one I think in my set list where you have Gene and Paul going back and forth singing lead vocals. But
can I just go ahead and say it's also my next one?
Is it really?
Yes.
Perfect. So it's your number 19 as well.
Yes, it is.
Nice. I like that for sure. Yeah. Again, it's a perfect song, and this was one that definitely should have been played on the End of the Road tour.
I don't understand why it wasn't.
It should have been put in the final 50. Even if it wasn't beforehand, I get that.
Right.
It should have been in the last set list.
It was always the last song, or the song that played after the show ended anyway, but it just makes so much sense to be right here towards the end of a set list. Like, that's where it belongs.
Yes. And I think in Vegas, you can do stuff like that, because I get where maybe not everybody would know that song live, going to see him at Game Bridge. Okay, fine.
But everybody in Vegas will know this song.
Everybody
100%.
in Vegas, well, they'll definitely, this one's, perfect song. But I think with Gene and Paul singing, and again, Bruce out there on lead guitar, like, it would just be, a big moment.
Yeah.
And I could have went with some other obscure song from Asylum, but I thought, realistically, in my dreams, I want to see God Gave Rock and Roll to be played live one more time with Bruce Kulick.
Yeah.
And being honest, my number 20 is Rock and Roll Night.
Fair. Wow.
My 20 is Rock and Roll Night.
That's valid.
Because I thought, well, obviously, it's going to be played at some point.
Yeah.
And I thought, how cool would it be to, on Kiss Unplugged, they had Gene, Paul, Eric and Bruce, and Peter and Ace. Everybody. I thought, how cool would it be to have Gene, Paul, Eric / drummer, whoever, Gene, Paul, drummer, Tommy, Bruce, bring up Sebastian Bach, bring up the guys from Mr. Speed, bring up the guys from Kiss Nation, get as many people on stage as possible with microphones singing this chorus as loud as possible.
I love that.
How crazy would it be to see Rich in makeup next to Paul Stanley?
Not in makeup.
Out of makeup. It'd be so weird sharing a microphone.
Yeah.
Singing. Wow. Imagine that photograph.
Wow.
Imagine that going around. Like, having the Star Child and Paul Stanley singing together.
Yeah.
Game over. If the Demon and Gene.
If we're having an imaginary set list where we're merging ours, and since you got 21, I'm stealing that idea and sticking it on.
There you go. There you go.
Good.
Perfect. Yeah, absolutely.
Great choice.
But what's your last
My
song?
final one, and I do feel like I should add that encore, because I don't know if everybody would be as excited about this as me, but my final one is Stand from Sonic Boom.
Wow.
I think just the sound of it and the messaging of it, and again, those back and forth vocals, would just be such a good, strong, positive way to end the show.
Agreed.
And stand by my side, I'll be next to you.
Because you and Paul for 50 years did that.
I just feel like that song is so meaningful, and it's so good, and it's still, I don't know, it's deep, but it's still, a good, strong, upbeat anthem.
Yes.
I just think it'd be great to have at the end of the show.
But it's also personable.
Exactly, yeah.
And you get some really great harmonies, too, towards the end.
That'd be so beautiful.
That remind me of I Just Wanna.
Yeah.
Yeah, so perfect. So, no, I like that. Very cool. You ended it on a very, obscure, not like obscure, but like a...
kind of deep cut.
A unique way. You ended it in a very unique way. Mine was very cliche, but my spin would be that you have everybody coming out on stage And it's this big moment, you know, because of course they're going to play Rock and Roll All Night, but you got to make it fun. You got to make it different.
Yes.
So you've got like confetti falling, and you've got members of tribute bands on stage. You got Sebastian Bach on stage, and
I love it.
You know, the fans are in the crowd cheering on their feet, clapping, and so I think that'd be a really cool way to end Vegas.
Perfect.
But I'm really curious to see what everybody else does, because like I said, guys, we went with 20 songs just for time limits. We're about an hour right now. And so we want to know what you guys do. 30, do 10, do 40, do whatever you want. Have Peter and Ace, have Vinny, have holograms of Mark and Eric. I don't care. You know, whatever you want to do. It's your dream set list. But this has just been our dream set list. But I know everybody's been waiting for the giveaway.
The moment. Yes, the moment giveaway is here.
So I understand the main part, the big part of this show is the giveaway. So first, thank you to everybody who entered the giveaway.
We had a ton of entries this time.
We had, I think, more entries in this giveaway than any other one that we've done before.
Which is crazy, because usually we're giving away like really cool Kiss stuff. And don't get me wrong, the stuff we're giving away is awesome, but it's like all Kiss Army things, custom things that you have made.
Yeah, custom Kiss Army things.
Yeah, so it's cool that everybody is wanting to enter.
I was really surprised, so thank you guys so much. And I do want to remind everybody what they're going to be winning. So if you entered, you could be winning, like I said, our custom Kiss Army Things kit. Starting off with our custom CD of the new San Antonio Off the Soundboard. And somebody in the comments was quick to mention this, and I'm glad, because I should have made mention of this in the last episode, and I forgot to, because I talked about how, you know, I made a video creating our own custom artwork for it and showing fans how to download it, you know, make your own CD, whatever. But I failed to mention who took these photos.
Yes, and that's very important and also relevant.
Yes, and we mentioned, the reopening of the Kiss Museum.
Yeah.
Well, Hammer UK 66 in the comments last episode said, that CD is really a special one for me because the photos that you used are photos that Peter Arquette took at the West Virginia Charleston Civic Center.
Yes. And it's funny that he mentioned that, because obviously you knew that and got permission from Peter for this.
Right.
But when you made that was kind of another tiny little Easter egg / hint that you were in contact with Peter Arquette.
Right, yes.
Before that announcement was made.
Yes, and I love this comment because he says, I was there that night and briefly met Peter at the back of the building.
That's amazing.
Where the band was coming in, where all the buses were parked. So, great episode. Congrats on picking up the torch and carrying on the Kiss Museum for the fans. I kept all my catalogs from back in the day when Peter was selling tapes. So, I thought that was really cool.
That's awesome.
That he made mention of this. Because, yes, Peter Arquette took the 3 photos you see of Bruce, Gene, and Paul, and also the back cover here of Bruce holding Gene's axe base. Peter Arquette took these January 15th, 86 in Charleston, West Virginia. So, yes, I wanted to make mention of that while I'm talking about the prizes for the giveaway, because Peter Arquette took these photos and he gave me permission to use them for my custom cover. I bought the MP3 files and burned 2 CDs, just like you would have gotten the one from CD Japan. So it's almost like a 1-to-1 to the original, just with custom artwork in
with
color.
Cooler, more colorful artwork. I love it.
So we have prize number 1, custom San Antonio Off the Soundboard, and then also we have the custom new Make-Believe Kiss album, Hand of Fate, which includes songs from Ace's solo album, Bruce's solo album, Monster, and Samurai Sun, all in the last 10-15 years.
Some Gene demos. All kinds of cool stuff.
A couple A-song, Fire and Water. So all the songs that members of Kiss have done together in the last 10-15 years. We made one compilation. I did some custom artwork for that. So you could be getting the new Make-Believe Kiss album, as well as the first 5 issues of the Kiss Army Things newsletter. So this year I wanted to do something fun and created the Kiss Army Things newsletter. We have, this month in History, new merch alert. I'm always writing a little article here, and then of course on the back I have some activities, which I wanted to introduce just to take up a next level. So you have crossword puzzles and word searches and the unmasked word scramble. So just some extra fun things for you guys. Again, the Patreon folks get these for free if you're a Sergeant Tier subscriber every month. You can download these. These have already been downloaded for you. They've been printed, they'll be sent to you, and are ready for you to read and interact with. So and then of course I'm just going to throw in some small stuff, some buttons and some stickers, and 4 of the filters that we made for the final shows.
That was so fun.
So just again, a custom Kiss Army Things kit. So yes, 2 CDs, 5 newsletters, 2 stickers, a button, and just, again, the custom Kiss Army Things kit. So, now that you know what you're going to be winning, Daphne, if you want to go ahead and hand me the Firehouse hat, we will do the grand transfer. So here are all of our entries. They are now in the Firehouse hat. And shake them up real good. And Daphne, if you want to do the honors.
I would love to.
And draw us a winner.
All right. Gotta make sure it's the right one. Just kidding. They're all the right one.
They're going to be upset if it's not them.
All right.
No, just kidding.
This is it. Oh, wait. I have like 3. Hold on. Hold on.
All right.
They all came out at once. Let's try that again. Okay. Make sure this is one. Okay. And the winner is Craig Johnson.
Craig Johnson. Congratulations to Craig Johnson on winning the 4th anniversary Kiss Army Things giveaway. You just won 2 bootleg CDs, 5 newsletters, and some Kiss Army Things swag.
Congrats.
So, congratulations to Craig Johnson. So, Craig, what we'll do is we will reply to your original comment, your winning comment, and we will give you our email address. Just email us, valid shipping address, and then we will get this sent to you free at no cost to you. So, yes, no matter where you're at, we will send this to you. And I'm excited because, I wanted to do something fun for the Kiss Army since you guys are always doing fun stuff for us, sending us gifts, leaving great comments, sharing memories. You know, Hammer UK was talking about going to, meet Peter or, see Peter. So, yeah, all that stuff is great. I love the fun that we have here on each and every show. And so I want to do something fun for you guys as we're entering our now 5th year of the podcast, which is crazy. So, congrats again to Craig. And thank you to everybody who entered. I really do appreciate it. We had, again, more entries this time around than ever before. And so we'll be sure to do one again for the Kissmas giveaway.
Yes, we will have another giveaway later
this year.
So
just because you guys didn't win this one doesn't mean you're going to win the next one.
That's right.
Definitely check out that one. We always do a Kissmas giveaway as well. So that'll be towards the winter. But so congrats again to Craig. And I gave Craig some stuff. Now it's time to give me some stuff. Let's move now to the Collector's Corner.
Yes.
Much smaller this time around.
I would hope so.
The last episode, we made the whole topic.
I mean, it was
the main brunt of the show.
It was the craziest Collector's Corner we've ever had.
It was.
Thanks to Z-Unit.
Thanks to Z-Unit. So if you somehow missed episode 142, go back and watch that because we got all kinds of Allcoin merch, buttons and magazines, and we got some posters.
Oh, yeah.
And just all kinds of really cool stuff. I mean, we flipped the Mardi Gras coin today on the show because it was, it's a rare item. So, yeah, very really cool stuff. So let's go ahead and get into today's load. This one we forgot to mention.
Oh, that's true. We've had that a couple weeks and forgot to mention. Yeah.
So we went shopping a couple weeks ago and came across this Kiss Alive 35 mug. You saw it actually on the shelf.
We almost missed it, honestly.
Yeah.
We kind of last minute, we're at like a Half Price Books, I think, and we at the last minute we're looking in this little section right before we left, getting ready to leave, and all of a sudden I just look up to this higher shelf and it's like right there at my eye level, and I was like, Kiss!
Yeah, I'm glad we saw it.
And we didn't see anything else Kiss there. There were no Kiss CDs, no Kiss vinyl.
No!
Maybe we saw a Kiss book or something, but it was...
There was a Kiss book, but I already had it.
Yeah, it wasn't one that you needed or anything. So we were like, oh man, didn't see any Kiss in the wild today. And then finally we saw this cool Alive 35 mug.
Yeah, as we're heading out, we see the Alive 35. And I don't have very many Alive 35 items. Yeah. I just, it's not something that you see out in the wild every day, all the time, is, Kiss Alive 35 stuff. So yeah, this was from 2011. And as you can see, it's still in the box. It looks super nice. So I'll put that right there. Yeah, happy to have that. Again, don't have too much Live 35 stuff. So happy to have that. That's item number 1. And this is the last item. And
I'm not sure if I know about this one.
I don't think you do either. This was something that I wanted to get, but didn't. So I found it on eBay and thought,
be careful
now's
not
the
to
time.
Cut whatever's inside.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I'm excited. Is this a shirt? You did it. You got it.
Oh, yes. I got the official
so cool.
Kiss Marvel t-shirt. So
I'm obsessed with it.
I am too, and I wasn't when it came out. When it came out, I was like, yeah, whatever.
Was it a medium?
It was a medium. That was a lot.
That was all they had?
That was all they had, but you can tell that it's a pretty decent-sized medium.
So cool.
It's a pretty decent-sized medium.
I love that so much.
I'm pretty happy with it, and I can tell it's never been worn.
Yep.
It's not faded at all. So
you found this on eBay?
This is on eBay.
Wow. It looks brand new.
This is on eBay. I was thinking there'd be more of these out there, but this is the only one I could find. So if I could have gotten a large, I definitely would have gotten a large. But all I saw was a medium. I thought, who cares? I'll squeeze into it. But
I love it.
When it first came out, I thought, yeah, it's fine. You could have had better characters for the Marvel at the bottom.
You could have, but I don't care. That's still awesome.
Now I don't care.
It's just the concept.
Now, I love Kiss. I love Marvel.
Yeah.
This is the perfect...
I mean, Kiss are Marvel superheroes,
this is
so
the
it
perfect
only makes sense.
Crossing over. I did get a second shirt with it because it came with it. This is a lot.
Okay.
I was looking for this.
Yeah.
Wanted that and got this.
Okay.
So this I might give to Jeb.
Okay.
As a gift. Because it is just a smoking Les Paul.
That is cool. That is a Jeb shirt.
I don't think this is a Kiss shirt necessarily. I mean, it looks like it's something that Ace...
Right.
It looks like it could be an Ace shirt, but nothing about it has the Ace logo, Spaceman, Kiss, nothing about it. It's just a smoking Les Paul. But let's face it, when you think smoking Les Paul, who do you think of?
You think of Ace Frehley.
Ace Frehley. So,
absolutely.
This one I think I'm going to give to Jeb.
I was going to say, I can see Jeb wearing that shirt. That's
or
very
his birthday.
good.
Maybe his birthday.
Yeah, that's first.
Either way. This one is also a medium. And I guess that's a big looking medium.
Well, and I think he usually wears mediums anyway. So
he does. So
perfect.
This one will work. So Jeb, if you're watching, which I know you're not, here is your future birthday present, but this is my today present.
I love it.
Yeah, again, this is one that I've wanted for a while, and I was surprised how few there were online, but...
Nice. Good
it's mine now. Yes, absolutely. So that's pretty much it for today's episode. We're not checking in with the Kiss calendar. Nothing happening yet.
New to add.
Nothing until, we know Vegas. Vegas is happening this November 14th to the 16th at the Virgin Hotels. If you're going to go to Vegas, let me know in the comments if you plan on going to Vegas. And, what ticket package did you get and what does it include? Because there's a few different ticket packages that offer a bunch of different things. I'm not, going to pretend like I know everything about it. So, yeah, if you're going to Vegas, let me know. But if you're not, let us know your Vegas set list. What's your dream Vegas set list for this year, 2025? They could play anything. They should play as much deep cuts as possible, I think. So I'm interested to hearing what everybody else says. So thank you guys so much for watching this episode 143. It's been really fun. I really appreciate it. So we'll be sure to see you guys in the next episode. I think we're going to do some more news stuff next week.
Yeah,
I think we'll
there
see.
are still some things to talk about.
Some things to come up that have come up that we're going to talk about. So yeah, we'll be sure to be here back in episode 144, talking all things Kiss with you guys. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. Shout out always to our Patreon subscribers. You guys rock. As a matter of fact, stay tuned because the June newsletter is now up.
Nice.
Or is going to be going up. It should have been up already, but I've been so busy with the Kiss Museum, with Kiss Army things that I kind of got sidetracked.
We're only a few days into June, and it's already been the craziest month of the year by far.
Pretty crazy, but you guys can take a look at the June activity, which is the Kiss fan forum, the Kiss Army fan forum. Such a good idea. So yes, you guys on the Patreon can look forward to that. If you're not subscribed to the Patreon, you can check out the description where you can check out that link, but also, again, don't forget TeePublic. We have Kiss Army Things merch out now. Yes, absolutely.
And also, again, congratulations to Craig Johnson on being the winner
of our giveaway. Be on the lookout, Craig, because that will be coming to you very, very soon. So thank you to all our viewers. Thank you to our Patreon subscribers. Thank you to everybody who entered into the contest. We really appreciate it. Keep on rocking. Keep jamming Kiss. We'll see you episode 144 right here on Kiss Army Things. My name is Xander.
My name is Daphne.
Peace out and rock on.